Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya. Okay. You can put your hands down. So far we have done 2 programs with you all to learn about the Buddha, then also to learn the Buddha's teachings and also the Buddha's disciples. So the reason we learn about the Buddha and also the Buddha's teachings and also about the Buddha's disciples, mainly the monks and the nuns, is to develop values in our life. Now, like if for an example, if you take our mother and father, don't they have loving kindness? They have loving kindness. If you compare your mother's and auntie's loving kindness, who has more loving kindness? Who gave you life? Mother. So who has more loving kindness? The mother. So our parents have loving kindness. Then don't our parents have compassion? They have compassion. When you are small, if we cry, immediately they try to calm us, right? To stop crying, and when if they were to feed us, they will feed us until our stomach get full. Like their idea is to make sure that our stomach is full and we study very well, get high marks. So our parents have compassion. Then our parents they rejoice in our development. When you develop in life, they are the first 2 people in this world that will rejoice. So then they have another quality, that is equanimity. Equanimity means now there are some children, they don't listen to their parents. When they were small, the children listen to their parents, but when the children grow up, the parents have to listen to the children. Some parents are scared to talk to their children. So in such situations, the parents keep quiet. There are some children, when for small things, if they don't get what they want, if they can't go out home, if they can't go out in the middle of the night or in the evening with the friends, if the parents say, no, wait, you're still young, they'll try to complain. But when children do things against the parents, there are parents who tolerate. Parents tolerate. So what I want to explain is parents generally parents have 4 special qualities, that is loving kindness, compassion, they rejoice in our development, and equanimity. That means they don't do things against us, they try to have patience. So these values now see parents have towards their children, but when you look at the children, do children have the same values towards their parents? What do you think? Does the majority has the same love, the same compassion towards the mother and father? How do you think? Like we should study it. We should see how our parents dedicate our time, their energy, their wealth, their time, their effort, and their life for us. And then we should see how much a child think and how much a child does towards their parents. Now see, when we were small, even now, parents always ask us, dear son, did you have your lunch? Did you have your breakfast? Did you have a dinner? But from a child to a mother, it's not like the mother is doing towards a child. Very rarely a child will ask. And then they work for like 20 to 25 years to educate the children, to pay the school fees, and to spend their last stage in their life. That money also they will try to earn themselves and survive. They don't like to trouble children. Doesn't it happen? It happens, right? So they don't try to trouble the children. So now do you understand that parents have more love and compassion towards children than the children have towards their parents? But the benefit is when you know about the Buddha, when you learn about the Buddha, when you learn about the Buddha's teachings, we will be able to show more love and compassion towards our mother and father when you learn Buddhism. Why? Slowly we will. Now in Buddhism you get to learn things like gratitude, patience, obedience, contentment, seeing good in others, mindfulness, karma. Karma means, there are results for the actions that we do. Some children, they're glad their mother and father. Then they won't get nice eyes in next life. So when a person is aware of the karma, when a person is aware of the true nature of the world, he will have qualities in life. Then what happens? We can develop qualities so that will help us to live peacefully with others. It could be in the working place, it could be at home, it could be a marriage life. Just imagine if a president of a country or a king has these wonderful qualities. Just imagine how nice would the country be. Buddha taught us to have loving kindness like a mother having a one and only child. Like a mother showing love towards her one and only child. In the same way, we should spread loving kindness towards all beings in the world. So if a king or a president in a country, and the ministers, and the doctors, and the engineers, and the teachers, and also the police, if everybody can have that wonderful loving kindness, like a mother shows, like a mother having one child, just imagine how beautiful this world would be. So the reason we conduct this program is we learn the Buddha's teachings to develop values. And also to put an end for suffering in life. Even though we have loving kindness, don't we suffer from old age? Don't we have to suffer from diseases? Doesn't this life end with death? So these are miserable states. And once we again when we are again born, don't we get these things again? We get these things again. Don't we get a mind? Together with this body, we get a mind. And in this mind, don't we have anger in our mind? Don't you have the nature of getting attracted? Don't you have the nature of getting sad? So, if we are reborn again without developing qualities, what will happen? We will be born again with an undeveloped mind. Then again, what will happen? All sorts of problems will start in life. So if there's no patience, if you do not know the way to overcome hatred, lust and delusion, that's where people end up in problems and regret for a long period. In the last program, I explained about, in the second program we did, I explained about the Buddha's dedication during the 6 years, little bit of his dedication, how much he gave pain to his body. And later he gave up giving pain to the body and he started purifying his mind. He started purifying his mind. So how he started purifying his mind? After giving pain for his body for almost 6 years, at the age of 35 years, he realized these things. Okay? The ways to overcome suffering, to develop loving kindness, and then the strategies to overcome hatred, lust and delusion. At the age of 35, he realized these things. So, at the age of 29, he left the palace, and for 6 years he tried to give pain to the body. Buddha went to a person called Kalama, the prince. He went to a person called Kalama. But then he was able to develop the mind, that means to concentrate the mind. But our Buddha understood that this will again lead to birth, to rebirth. Even though we concentrate our mind, this will lead again to rebirth. Then again we get old age, death. So he gave up that. Then there was another person called Uddakaramaputra. He went to that person also and he gave up that teaching as well. Because why? That will again lead to rebirth. Then he started giving pain to the body. So what I want to explain to you all was, as a prince, there's another word we call, there's another name we used to call the prince. The name is Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva. The name Bodhisattva we use for people who are going to become Buddhas. If I use the word Bodhisattva, that means a situation before becoming a Buddha. So the Bodhisattva, finally he gave up giving pain to the body and he started purifying the mind. So, and also he tried to purify the mind. He remembered when he was young, when he was very small, I think 7 years, this information you can find in Sangharava Sutta, in Majjhima Nikaya too. These things I will teach you later. Like, now the Dhamma that I am teaching you is taken from the books. You call it the Tripitaka. From the Tripitaka, there are two special sectors, that is Sutta Pitaka and Vinaya Pitaka. So these words are Pali terms. So in Sutta Pitaka, there are special books called Majjhima Nikaya, Digha Nikaya, Anguttara Nikaya, Khuddaka Nikaya. Majjhima Nikaya means middle-length discourses. Whatever the middle-length discourses preached by the Buddha. Then Digha Nikaya means lengthy discourses. Anguttara Nikaya means numerical discourses. Then there's another book called Samyutta Nikaya, connected discourses. So later I will introduce those books to you all. Now to read those books, you should have some enthusiasm, right? You should have some interest to read those books. So to develop that interest, that's what I'm trying to do here. You can read those books, and when you have questions, you can ask from us. So even we learn from those. We learn from those books. So after the Buddha attained Mahaparinibbana, that means after the last day of the Buddha, these teachings were protected by the monks. Now, it has been almost 2,562 years. 2,562 years Buddha has attained, Buddha has passed away. Until now the teachings were preserved. So we should be thankful to the monastic disciples of the Buddha for protecting this Dhamma. So dear Dhamma friends, now Buddha realized that what I want to explain was as a Bodhisattva when he was young. At Majjhima Nikaya, in the book of Majjhima Nikaya, it says that the prince was meditating when he was young. He did this breathing meditation, and the prince were able to calm his mind. The same incident, the Bodhisattva, the Bodhisattva were able to recall when he was 35. Then what happened? Again he started doing breathing meditation. That breathing meditation means he tried to find an object Now breathing meditation, the way we do the breathing meditation is we see or we observe mindfully. We should try to be aware mindfully whether we are breathing in or breathing out with the help of the nostrils. So when we concentrate our mind to one place like that, to one object, our mind will get calm. If we don't concentrate our mind to like a breathing meditation, like to our breath, if we don't concentrate our mind, if we don't direct our mind to the breath, what happens? This mind runs to other places. It might run to the past. It might run to the future. We might dream. Will our mind get calm then? No. So what he wanted was to calm his mind first. So for that he used the breathing meditation. He was observing whether he was breathing in or breathing out at the age of 35. Then slowly when he was observing his breath, his mind was calmed. And he attained the first jhana. Now first jhana is a level of concentration in the mind. First jhana. Okay, I will teach them in the future. Then he attained to the second jhana. Then he attained to the third jhana and to the fourth jhana. That means fourth jhana means very well concentrated. And after he developed this mind to the fourth jhana, he was able to see his past lives. Who's seeing this? The Buddha or the Bodhisattva? Bodhisattva. Still as a Bodhisattva can see his past lives. Then he sees in one life a human being, in another life in a divine world, in another life in a different world, then again in human world a different appearance, then again it could be in a different world, it could be in an animal world, then in another life in a ghost world. Like this, when he saw the past lives, he understood that we are not always born as humans in each and every life. This appearance depends on the actions that we do. So he saw many lives with the developed mind. Then what happened? He got disenchanted. He got enough of this life. Why? If he has to be born, if he has to be born again, if he has to be born again, if he has to come to this world again, don't he has to go the same journey? It's the same journey. We are going in a round circle. We are meeting the same people again and again in a different appearance. You know, Buddha said, after he became a Buddha, he said, it's difficult to find a person who has not become a mother. If in here, it's difficult to find a person who has not been a mother for you. It's difficult to find a person who has not been a father for you. That much we have been coming in this endless journey. Just imagine in your mother's mother, your mother's mother, your mother's mother, your mother's mother. And Buddha said the amount of tears we have shed when our mother passed away is more than the 4 great oceans. The amount of tears we have shed when our father passed away is more than the 4 great oceans. Do you like to shed your tears like a 4 great oceans in future? No. Now, why Buddha and how did Buddha understand these things? He was able to see the past lives. So how does the teachings help us? How does these teachings help us? When you learn these teachings, we'll get to know that we had previous lives. These things we get to learn from these teachings. So then he thought, is it only me that who came in this long journey? Then he started looking to other people's lives. Then he understood the same thing. Other people are also having the same destiny. According to the karma they do, according to the actions they do, they get a life. Now if someone says, no point of doing good deeds, it doesn't matter, once you are born as human beings, even though you do good things or bad things, it doesn't matter, it's only for this life. But if I ask you a question, okay, I'm asking for something. If a person does bad thing, doesn't he suffer in this life itself? He suffers. What to talk about next life? So that's why, the Buddha saw the Buddha. I mean, luckily Buddha saw the lives of other people, the previous lives of other people, and then he got more disenchanted. He got enough of this existence. Then finally, after seeing his life and other people's life, then later he was able to understand that this death, old age, separation from loved ones, all happens because of what? Because of birth. Because of what? Birth. Now if we suffer, can we say it's because of our mother and father? No, it's because of birth. If you suffer from diabetics, it's because of what? Because of birth. Is there any other root for that? The main root? Birth. Then the Bodhisattva, still as a Bodhisattva, okay? As a what? Bodhisattva. Still as a Bodhisattva, he kept on contemplating, what's the cause for birth? Then he understood that birth happens due to what? Due to karma. Due to actions that we do. Then further he contemplated, what's the reason to accumulate karma? Due to clinging. Due to what? Due to clinging. Don't we cling to things? After clinging only we started doing actions, right? Then we cling to things. So, now we have to explain this clinging, okay? So I'm just doing a brief introduction to you all, a brief teaching. It's clinging. Why people cling? So, why people cling? There's another reason for that. Due to craving. Don't you have craving in the mind? We have craving. Why craving arises? Due to feeling. Why feeling arises? Due to contact. Why contact arises? Due to this eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and the mind. Don't we mix this world with these 6 sense faculties? Don't we? We mix with this world with the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. If we control these 6 sense faculties, if we control this, if we guard these 6 sense faculties, won't we have less problems? Can't we control the actions? Can't we control craving? Can't we control clinging? We can control these things. So there's a reason for these 6 sense faculties also. But I just taught some little bit of his realization, of his wise consideration. You call this cause and effect theory. Then after realizing this cause and effect theory, and also by realizing the Noble Eightfold Path, he became the Buddha. By discovering the Noble Eightfold Path, he became a Buddha. From that day onwards, divine beings, human beings, even animals were able to live peacefully due to appearance of a Buddha. So that happened 2607 years ago. So today, by learning the steps how he became a Buddha, may we have the opportunity for us to develop breathing meditation and also the other meditation techniques that Buddha has taught us, and purify our mind and have a peaceful life in this life itself, and live a wonderful life to attain Nibbana in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.